Yo guys, it's Slyroh. You already know that today I'm bringing you guys my battle for week 1 of the PPL, Division 2, Season 5, all that good stuff. This week we're taking on Blue Rogue and the AFC Wormadam. This is a team that I have never played before, a person I've never played against before. There's going to be a lot of new first-time battles for me this season because there's plenty of new faces to the league. But this is really exciting because we are back to competitive Pokemon. I have not played a competitive game since the last game of the last PPL season, so I'm a little rusty, but we're not going to make excuses. I'm here to talk about my team. If you guys do not care about the team builder, there will be a timestamp in the description, first line of the description. Click on that and it will take you to the battle video. But I do want to make this because I know that there's analysts and stuff like that, and I want everybody to be able to see my thought processes, and if analysts have any sort of questions, comments, concerns, they know my full thought process, and they know where to critique me or praise me or whatever, has been. So I'm going to make that, but if you don't want to see it, skip ahead. But yeah, I'm not rendering 2 separate videos because my computer is bad enough at doing that already, and if I want to keep everything up on time, 1 video is what you get this season. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry. But let's go ahead and talk about my team. But before we talk about my team, we need to know what his team consists of. So a picture should be popping up below me. His team consists of Mew, Kieran Black, Mega Scizor, Tapu Fini, Hawlucha, Gourgeist, Miltank, Umbreon, Rhydon, and Moltres. His Z-move users are Kieran Black and Moltres, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't give a whole lot of thought into his Z-moves because I'm not good at planning for them. So I just kind of try to pretend that they don't exist and cross my fingers and hope that if I believe hard enough, they'll just disappear. Hasn't worked yet, but I'm still going to hope and try to make that happen. So let's go ahead and talk about my team. I'm just going to run through the Pokemon I have and why I picked what I picked, and kind of my thought process behind it. So this is a pretty good order, I guess. But anyway, so let's go ahead and just talk about my team. I'm assuming you guys are used to how team builders work, so I'm just going to go ahead and go into it and not waste too much time. First Pokemon I brought was Obey Me, the Klefki, with Leftovers, Prankster, Toxic Foul Play, Spikes, Reflect, Max Physically Defensive, with some special defense. I wanted to, so he has a Mew, and I don't like Mew, and he's probably going to be brought defensive for my Mega Medicham, that's what I'm assuming. So I would like to Toxic the Mew whenever I can, and the best way to Toxic a Mew is with a Steel type that can't get Toxic by Mew synchronized. So that is the plan. Klefki is my lead, and I'm going to, if he leads off with Mew, I can Toxic. Otherwise, I can start setting up Spikes, maybe even Reflect. Reflect is for, because it was between Reflect and Light Screen. I think Reflect is because I don't have a lot of switch-ins to Hawlucha, physical Kieran Black. I mean, certain Kieran Blacks, it depends. I just wanted a little bit of extra support. So I went with Reflect. Could have went with either Screen, or I could have went with Defog, but this is what I decided to rock. Only has defensive because Foul Play is my offensive move. It isn't necessarily to hit anything in particular, but I do want to be able to do damage to some things if I need to. So because having a Pokemon with no attacking moves is usually not the best way to go. So that is my first Pokemon. Klefki is the initiator. It is to Toxic the Mew. And he does have like heal uses and stuff. He's got Umbreon, I want to say Miltank Ken, and Tapu Fini has the Misty Terrain or whatever. So it's hopefully I can get this Mew Toxic. If so, it'll make it a lot easier to deal with because outside of that, I don't have a lot of ways to deal with it. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's go ahead. Talk about the second Pokemon that I decided to bring, and that is a physically defensive Pelipper. Leftovers, not Rain, and we'll get into why. Roost, Scald, Defog, U-turn. So I decided to throw Defog on Pelipper. At first I did have like Hidden Power Fire or whatever, but the more that I get used to team building, the more I realize how like situations work. So I'm assuming Mega Scizor comes in, whatever, then I switch into Pelipper because Pelipper can take any hit that Mega Scizor wants to go for. But he's probably not going to stay in, so like I would have to wait for him to stay in and then try to hit him with like Hidden Power Fire, and I have to hit him with 2 before he even dies. So Scald and risking the Scald burn is good enough. He's probably just going to switch out anyway. So Scald is really the only move I need. I can't do a lot of damage to anything else that wants to take the Scald, but I have U-turn to momentum myself out of there. So the idea would be I switch into Mega Scizor. He switches out into something as I U-turn, and then I get momentum on my side. So that is the whole plan. But this is mostly my my Mega Scizor switch-in. Could potentially be used as a Hawlucha switch-in, which is kind of shaky, but probably about the best I got. And I want to say can switch into Kieran Black's, like anything that's not Fusion Bolt, but I could be wrong. But it's there mostly for Mega Scizor, and then will be used as needed after that. And it is not Rain. I guess let's change the order. It's not Rain because of Victini here. I'm going to be bringing Choice Banded. Choice Banded V-Create can pretty much run through his whole team, just about. The Miltank is still a little bit of an issue. Actually, Banded V-Create might still be a 2KO. I don't remember. It's been a little bit since I did the calc. But V-Create, Bolt Strike, U-Turn, Grass Knot, Bolt Strike, of course, for like Tapu Fini, and for is that about it? Like Moltres, I guess. But U-Turn for Momentum, Grass Knot in case he tries to bring the cheeky like Rhydon as like a switch-in. I didn't really need a fourth move, and yeah, Rhydon can't take Grass Knots even if I am Jolly, which is pretty cool. So Banded Victini, it's really, it smacks so hard. But I really need the V-Create, and that is why I don't have Rain, because Rain is going to weaken the power of V-Create, and I don't want that because I need all the full power of V-Create for this matchup. So that is why I'm not bringing Rain, but I guess you'll see that there's a Pokemon here, but we'll get to that. But you know, let's go in somewhat order, because another Pokemon that can kind of potentially run through a team is Mega Medicham, because Mega Medicham runs through like every team. That's just how it works. But this one is not Max, it's Max Speed Jolly with 132 HP. That is enough for me to live a switch-in from Kieran Black. I want to say it's enough for me to live a Life Orb, like whatever max move he can go for me. It might be Ice Beam or something like that, or Dragon something. I don't think it's guaranteed, but I want to say it's Ice Beam, or it could be, I don't remember what the calc was, but it was whatever the strongest move was on like the regular calc. This allows me to live a hit after Stealth Rocks, and then if he's Life Orb and doing that much damage anyway, then I'll outspeed and I can just Drain Punch him, or High Jump Kick him, either or. I have both High Jump Kick and Drain Punch because in case he wants to run Cheeky Protects on anything, or if I just want to guarantee, like if Drain Punch is a guaranteed kill, then why not go for it, because High Jump Kick has a chance to miss, and if it misses then I cry. So I don't want that. Ice Punch is for Gourgeist because also High Jump Kick, I mean if he switches in Gourgeist while I go for that, then that's silly of me because I'm just going to go through it because it's a ghost and I'm going to hurt myself and I don't want that. So Ice Punch is for that, and Bullet Punch for a little bit of priority, and can also do damage to Kieran Black, you know, if it's like Scarf or something. I mean, it can hit pretty much any Scarfers, and I want to say he doesn't have like a ton of resistances, if any. Like Mega Scizor is the only one I see. I'm probably wrong, I'm probably missing like another one, but yeah, he doesn't have a lot of resistance to that, and 124 attack is still plenty for Mega Medicham. In my draft analysis, I talked about the fact that it doesn't always need to be max attack, it can still do lots of damage. So, I was pretty torn about this slot here. I did end up giving it to Kingdra, but I didn't feel great about this, but I was kind of rushing to finish this team, and I couldn't really find a Pokemon that, like, fit. So when it comes to, and this kind of comes back to Mew, when it comes to Mew, the only things I have to deal with it are, like, Abandoned Bikini, whittling it down with Toxic, and then like what else my team can do stuff. Mamoswine like wasn't doing enough. What are my other Pokemon? Tentacruel obviously wasn't doing enough, and surprisingly Scyther wasn't really doing enough, especially since to do enough damage I would have to go without Eviolite, and then Mew depending on what like moves he had or whatever, it could do a lot of damage to Scyther, and surprisingly was not as much of an answer as I wanted it to be. Yeah, so, and then Raichu, obviously that's not quite working, but yeah, I almost brought Raichu, but it would have been more for momentum purposes, but I settled with Kingdra because Crit Dra can like still do lots of damage, specifically to Mew. But basically for this set to work I need Tapu Fini out of the way, and then I need to find a set of I need to find a chance to set up 2 turns in a row, because I have agility and focus energy with stab as my moves, Draco Meteor and Hydro Pump. If I get crits, like even Hydro Pump does a lot to things that resist it. Basically like Tapu Fini, because besides Tapu Fini, I think this can Oko like his whole team. But of course I have to like get it off, so that's a little bit tricky. But if I do get the chance, it's here. And even if I don't, I can live a hit from you, assuming it's defensive. Draco Meteor still does plenty, so there's still situations in which this works, and that's why I am bringing it. But yeah, the Sniper Scope Lens set, we'll see if it works, but I'm not super confident going into the game, but it's there in case I need it, and at the very worst, it's still a body I can sack off if I need to. Now, the very, very special set, and when I say special set, I mean it very literally. We are bringing special Tapu Bulu, and I'm so proud of myself, and so happy to bring this to you. Let's go. Tapu Bulu, we got Life Orb, Giga Drain, Focus Blast, Hidden Power Fire, Leech Seed, 172 HP, 248 Modest, and 88 speed. That is enough to outspeed a defensive Tapu Fini. So that's cool. Why am I bringing special? Well, after having Tapu Bulu for a season, I generally know what type of what type of mons people will switch into it. And he has like 2 really good ones in Mega Scizor and Gourgeist. I want to say no, nothing else really. Nothing else really. Even Miltank and Umbreon, it depends, because like Superpower would hit them and then my attack's lowered, and then it kind of depends on the situation. Plus for it to do enough damage. Either way, I'm assuming more the Mega Scizor. Because then it can like, you know, roost off damage, whatever. But Hidden Power Fire with the Life Orb is enough to Oko Mega Scizor, which is amazing. Or it might not, it might be like 95% chance, something like that, but assuming I can get some spikes up or do some previous damage. What I'm hoping can happen is I go for, you know, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, whatever. Probably Leech Seed, we'll see. As he switches into like Mega Scizor, and then I can just catch him off guard with Hidden Power Fire, or I can catch him on the switch by going for Hidden Power Fire while he switches out of whatever he's in with. Because Tapu Bulu is scary, you're probably assuming that you gotta switch into Woodhammer, Hornleech, or whatever. And so nobody thinks it's special Tapu Bulu, but I promise it makes so much sense. Giga Drain still does like 75% to Tapu Fini. Which is great. Focus Blast, of course I need to hit it, but I mean that does a ton of damage to Miltank and Umbreon. Giga Drain also hits Rhydon. Let's see. Leech Seed is just good for getting health back and helps me switch into other things that could, you know, maybe take some hits. Focus Blast also hits Kieran Black a lot. Giga Drain, Leech Seed still is enough to whittle down Mew, I think. I don't remember the calc specifically, of course, but yeah, I really think that this is going to work, and it does show that, I mean, I do have to be a little bit creative with my team to be able to make it work. There are a lot of offensive threats, some that didn't even show up this game, but I think this is the team that can give us the W for this, so I'm going to try my best and hope that it works. So this is my team for the battle. If you guys watched this whole part, I appreciate you guys so much. And, well, I'm going to head out now so we can get straight to the battle. Alright, so we are here for the battle part of this video, and before we get into it, I do want to thank Blue Rogue for dealing with my unreliability. I was having a lot of issues, connecting to the internet in general, but we did get a Wi-Fi battle out of it eventually. So, thank you, Blue Rogue, for, yeah, for dealing with me. It was pretty bad, but anyway, so you guys already know the team. I already went over it, so I'm not going to go over it again, and you can see that he brought his Mew, Kieran Black, Mega Scizor, Miltank, Tapu Fini, and Moltres, which means that he did not bring, the Umbreon, which I was not really expecting, the Rhydon, which also wasn't really expecting, his Gourgeist, which I thought could come, but it makes sense why it didn't, and the Hawlucha, which I was very happy for because I was a little bit scared of that, but honestly replaced that fear of Hawlucha for the fear of Moltres, because I did not really plan for the Moltres, and things that I don't plan for well, it usually turns out pretty bad in my past experience. But let's go ahead and see how this one went. So it's been like a couple weeks since I've had this battle, but I'm gonna try to remember everything that I can. And if I need to catch up on my thoughts, I can actually pause now, which is pretty cool. But you already know the strategy. My dedicated lead was my Klefki, and that was to catch the Mew and be able to Toxicate turn 1, and turns out that he did lead off with the Mew, which is fantastic, and I'm going to go ahead and get that Toxic off turn 1, so things are already looking in my favor, because that is exactly what I wanted to have happen, and the fact that it did is just amazing. So, he is going to set up some Stealth Rocks, which is alright. I figure that he doesn't have a Rapid Spinner on his team, he only has Defog, so if I start setting up hazards on his side, then either he could defog them away with Mew or the Tapu Fini, or they'll be up and they'll be an annoyance for him. So I started to set up spikes, and he reveals the Earth Power, which is going to do a good amount of damage. Not the best, but it's okay. Klefki hangs in there because it's a great Pokemon. I got that leftovers, and I am at about half now. Which is pretty cool, but I know he has the Earth Power, I know he has Stealth Rocks, I'm assuming he has Recovery, and then there's one other move that I'm not sure what it is. But I wanted something that could take the Earth Power, but also could maybe catch something on a switch-in. So there was zero chance of me staying in here. Because, yeah, I didn't want to just... I want Klefki around for later if I need it. So we actually both switched. He switched into the Tapu Fini, which is fantastic that he switched out first, because I run Tapu Bulu. My terrain is better than yours, and yeah, so I Toxic to Mew before Mystery Terrain was up, and now Mystery Terrain is just not there. That is going to give both of us some health, and we find out that the Tapu Fini also has leftovers. Also saw that the Mew had the leftovers, which leads me to believe that it is a defensive Mew to deal with the Mega Medicham, which is what I was expecting. So now, I assume that he's going to bring in the Scizor, but I'm not sure, so I go for the Leech Seed. The Leech Seed is very middle-of-the-road play, and it doesn't give away my set, which is amazing because he actually brings in the Mega Scizor, and after the Spikes damage, and after that Leech Seed, I forget if Leech Seed and Grassy Terrain offset each other. I don't think so. I think Leech Seed takes slightly more away. I don't remember, but after looking at it, I'm almost positive that I can take him out with this Life Orb, Hidden Power Fire, especially offensive Tapu Bulu, Hidden Power Fire, and a Bullet Punch has zero chance to take me out, so I go for it. He doesn't go for the Bullet Punch, I go for the Hidden Power Fire, and this Mega Scizor is gone. It is amazing. Just like that, what's that, 4 turns into the battle, we got one-man advantage. The Life Orb is almost offset by the Grassy Terrain, which is fantastic. And now he brings in the Moltres, and this is when I start to kind of fear the Moltres a little bit, but because Pelipper was the thing that I brought to switch into Mega Scizor if I needed to, I now have something that I can sack off if need be. But Pelipper actually could have taken a hit from Moltres, so either or, it doesn't matter. But he U-turns and gets that momentum, which was very nice for him because now he gets to go into the Kyurem Black, which I didn't know what it wanted to do. I was kind of scared that he might set up like a substitute or something on me, so I didn't know what I wanted to switch in right away. I wanted to kind of see what he was planning, so I go for the U-turn here, but it turns out he just goes for the Fusible, and that's going to knock down my Pelipper, which is okay. Like I said, Pelipper generally didn't need to show up this battle just based on what happened, but yeah, I let it go down, and that's going to give me a free switch into my Mega Medicham. I also didn't want to switch straight into Mega Medicham. Mega Medicham can switch into any Kyurem Black hit, any like normal, I think even Life Orb Kyurem Black hit, but that's after it's Mega'd, and it's not Mega'd yet, so I wanted to make sure that I got the Mega off. So, I am going to get my Mega Evolution off because I think turning into a Mega Medicham is important. That way I can switch into Kyurem Black next time, if I need to, and I forget which move I actually go for this time. It might have been No, it was Ice Punch. I wanted a nice neutral move that was going to do a little more to Mew, because I assumed he was going to bring that in, but I also wanted the Mega off, so I didn't want to double switch. And, yeah, so I also gauged that obviously this is physically defensive, and I can't take him out quite yet. So I decide to switch out into my Tapu Bulu again, because he hasn't shown anything that can deal with it. And at this point, I'm obviously not worried about if the Mew is like Will-O-Wisp is his last move or something like that, because especially offensive. I don't know if I ever find out what the last move is, honestly. But he is going to recover up, which is another thing that I thought he could do, and it made sense for him to do. And I can start chipping away at his health. I think I do just go for another Leech Seed here. No, I switched. I think I must have double switched. I go into Victini because I figured he was going to go into... Why? Why did I do that? I don't remember. I don't remember why I did that. Actually, hold up. I think maybe I thought he was going to just switch into the Moltres, predicting me to just Leech Seed, and then he's already there. And Victini can OHKO the Moltres with a Bolt Strike. I believe that's all it was. Plus, there was no reason for him to go for Earth Power. So it was a pretty safe switch into Victini. So I think I was just trying to catch the Moltres on the switch in. But I was unable to do that, and I do take a Psychic. But because of Grassy Train, I do get a little bit of health back, but that is unfortunate. So I think that's what I was trying to do, if I'm remembering correctly. That's what makes sense to me, anyway. Because I was, in the middle of the battle, starting to fear the Moltres a little bit, and I wanted to make sure that I got the upper hand on it. So, I can hit a very powerful Choice Abandoned V-Crepe. I don't think I do that, because I figured the Miltank was going to come in. Yeah, I just U-turn. I assumed the Miltank was going to come in. V-Create would be a wasted move to go for the Miltank right now. I believe this lets me go into Mega Medicham, which is some mind games that I love to play, because I have both Drain Punch and High Jump Kick. And I figured he might try and be cheeky and catch me on a High Jump Kick miss. Even though High Jump Kick would take out a Miltank from here, and Drain Punch will not, I go for the Drain Punch because I figured the Protect was coming, called that from a mile away. That is not going to get me, so now he doesn't know that I have High Jump Kick, and I just have Drain Punch. There's no reason that he would go for a Protect again, because it didn't get me the first time. I assume that he would assume that I don't have High Jump Kick, and that is why that makes this the perfect turn to go for the High Jump Kick, but unfortunately he does switch out, probably because why stay in? But he does go into the Mew, and the High Jump Kick, even though it's resisted, it still does like 30% or something like that. It's pretty nice. So I do reveal that, which is fantastic, and it's so close to being able to take it out. I think with the leftovers and the grassy terrain, that probably brings him out of range. I think if the grassy terrain wasn't up and just the poison went down, I believe it may be more of a roll. But I feel like I try and take the roll. Yeah, I try and take it, even though I'm pretty sure it's not going to kill. Oh, it does. Oh, because it's a crit. Okay. Honestly, I'm gonna need to see Blue Rogue side to know if that was a guaranteed knockout or not. But I didn't think that it was going to be. I just wanted to put pressure on the Mew, and I thought that he might just soft-boiled and try to like recover me, but he can't do that because he's toxic as well. So that's why I wait for another High Jump Kick. I don't know if that crit mattered. I think it did, but I could be completely wrong. And I do take out the Mew, which I love being able to take out Mega Medicham's counter with Mega Medicham. It's fantastic. So we're going to get another kill, bringing us up by 1 because Pelipper was knocked out. So we're up 5-4 now. But the Moltres comes out, and assuming the way he brought this in, I assume it's Scarfed, which makes it a little bit more terrifying because I don't really know what to do. So I bring in Kingdra because I'm not seeing a good opportunity for me to set up an agility and stuff like that, and go for like stuff. So I'm confused. I don't know. I'm basically chancing a Hurricane miss or for him to switch out, and I think I go for the like water move, whichever one I had. It's been so long. Was it Hydro Pump or was it Surf? Something like that. It must have been Hydro Pump, right? Isn't that what I got? But I go through the confusion. I hit the Hydro Pump, and who needs to set up a Focus Energy? I can get a crit through it, and that does a lot to Tapu Fini. And I wanted to check and see, I believe, if I was faster than this Tapu Fini. I was like max speed or something like that. And it turns out I am. And I get another Hydro Pump crit. I'm trying to think in my head if that's a dumb thing for me to say, but I think I was max speed. Alright, so I honestly don't remember my sets. Scroll earlier in the video to during the team builder if you want to see if I cared enough at all to like have more speed than the top 50. Because off the top of my head, I think they're both 85, aren't they? I don't remember. But either way, I did outspeed, and I got 2 Hydro Pump crits, which is big, but it's not. I don't know if it changes the moves that he would have made, but regardless, he kills the Kingdra, which was going to happen regardless, and then I bring in Tapu Bulu, which after 1 Hydro Pump hit at all, a Giga Drain would take it out. So if he had more HP, I don't know if he would have been more inclined to save this or not, but I believe I do go for the Giga Drain. So it turns out he must have some speed because he outspeeds my Bulu, which was, well, Bulu just had enough speed to outspeed a defensive fitting, I believe. So I thought I might be able to outspeed, did not, and so that's why I was trying to go for the Giga Drain first, but unfortunately I did not. So now we got a little bit more Mon games, and unfortunately I don't remember entirely what happens. No, wait, oh wait, okay, no, I thought he was going to bring in Moltres, and that was I was scared of that, but he actually brings in the Kira Black, and I go into Klefki because I feel, well, I can live a hit, and unless he like had like an Earth Power or something like that, and I thought it was a good potential sack if I needed it, and it was a nice middle ground play instead of risking switching into Mega Medicham. So I do send in Klefki, which I believe goes down to this because it is a nice move, or a Z move, I'm sorry. So if he did not go for the Z move and it was just the Ice move, I think Klefki would have lived. In which case, I probably would have just tried to get up a last minute Reflect or maybe another layer of Spikes or something. I was basically just in as like a pivot just to see what he would do. He does reveal the Z move, which I thought he could have. I think I was also testing for that. And it gives me a free switch back into Mega Medicham, which is fantastic because he, especially with Mew down, he really doesn't have great switch-ins to this. But he is going to switch in the Moltres, which is somewhat of a switch-in when I go for Drain Punch. Man, like High Jump Kick does more than half, and I forget about Ice Punch, but it sucks that he went straight into that, and then he gets the Flame Body, and that is really unfortunate. It does play a part into how this game ends, but I'm not that upset about it, and we'll get into why. Because the Burn Mega Medicham is still pretty powerful, so I switch it out and I go into the Tapu Bulu. I assume that he has to hit Hurricanes, and you're not going to hit every Hurricane, so I was chancing that. And he missed one. He hits the second one, which does take out Tapu Bulu. I think I was trying to Leech Seed him here, but I also wanted the grassy terrain, because I think the plan was to bring in Victini here. Yeah, so also I think I was probably going to chance I might have chanced a Hurricane miss with Mega Medicham, though I kind of need that for the Miltank, so I don't remember what my thought process was at that time. I think I go straight for the Bolt Strike, which was kind of dumb, because V-Crate does a lot to Moltres even though it's resisted, but I cannot to a KO Miltank from this range, but I don't have great switch-ins to him. Wait, okay, yeah, it's kind of mind games. I was wanting to, I think I want to end this exchange with Miltank taking out Victini, and then I go into Mega Medicham, and then he's forced into going for Hurricane, especially now. I actually live on 8 HP, which is great. He probably, oh, and I also parried him, but the fact that he went for Earthquake means that doesn't matter, because I would have, obviously I outspeed, and I would have been able to take him out anyway. If he was trying to recover there, then the paralysis would matter, but yeah, I actually get basically a free kill by just continuing to go for Bolt Strike, and I force him into, basically I'm just trying to force him into hitting Hurricanes with his Moltres, because I want him to just kill Victini. I'm banded into Bolt Strike. I'm literally just here until he kills Victini, and the reason is because I know Mega Medicham can outspeed this, so that means I can take him out, and then I'm in a 1v1 versus the Moltres, which I think if I wasn't burned, I would need him to miss one Hurricane, and then I could take him out with the High Jump Kick, because I'm burned, I believe I need him to miss 2 hurricanes and I can take him out with 2 high jump kicks. I think that's how it works, but this Drain Punch doesn't actually take out the Carolina. I thought it did. I must have done the calc wrong, or maybe not calculated and just just assumed too much. So that's also a bit of a detriment. Actually, I'm trying to think. I feel like that is a detriment because I think now he could just go for Flamethrower. If I would have just taken him out with the high jump kick, then I would be at more full health, and then he would have had to go for Hurricane. I don't remember how this battle ends, but I do feel like I'm at a range that he could just go for Flamethrower. And the fact that I'm burned, if I wasn't burned, I think a high jump kick would actually be a roll from where he's at now. So I kind of messed up the end of this, but because I'm burned, I would have relied on, I want to say, like 2 hurricane misses anyway. And so that is the battle. I'm gonna wait until it loads our faces there. Unless he doesn't have a face. There we go. He does have a face. How about that? But, yeah. So, there was a decent amount of hacks, but I don't feel like a lot of it mattered. The position that I put myself at the end of the game was going to have me relying on Moltres Hurricane missing at least once. So, if it would have ended with me winning, it still would have been hacks, but the other way. It would have been hacks in my favor. So that's why I'm not really upset about the hacks. I'm a little upset with the lack of preparation for Moltres, and for, I don't know that I can point out what it is, but I have a tendency to start out really great at the beginning of games, and then I lose it somewhere in the middle, and I mismanage the end game like crazy. And the worst part about it is I can never tell exactly where I mismanage each game, but it has to happen somewhere, because if I wasn't mismanaging somewhere in the middle of the game, I wouldn't be losing. So, especially after watching this again, I don't exactly know what I did wrong outside of the very end, which would have relied me on hacks anyway. So yeah, I mean, I guess the lack of preparation for Moltres is what really did it, but besides that, I mean, obviously there's probably something that I'm not doing well enough, because this has been a recurring problem where the end of the game is something that I don't always close. I'm not good at closing out my victories, and that's why I'm pretty average. I usually have about the same amount of wins as I do losses in most seasons, and I think a lot of those are if I just get so far ahead that even if I start to bumble around in the middle, I still end up winning. And then there's other games like this to where I start out strong and I somehow just end up mismanaging it and throwing it all away. So, that was basically this game. I did enjoy this because I felt like it was a very fair match. I felt like it was very balanced, and it was good. It was very fun. So I do appreciate this battle. Make sure you go check out his side. His links will be in the description. And I think that's going to be it. I don't really have any other thoughts for this game. If you guys have any thoughts or critiques or whatever else you want to throw my way, go ahead and leave them in the comments. And I will see you guys next week when we take on Carson. That is someone that we did play last season in TBU, his Chicago Bewares. So that's going to be a very interesting battle. I can tell you that for sure. And, yeah, that is going to wrap things up. So, thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, guys, stay sly.